attacked in my own home. I just tried to rub the tummy. I'm being attacked.
Guys, it is so hot. The timing of this just sucks. The only good thing is that I can open this window and the swamp cooler pushes the air out, so I can kind of get some air when I stand here. But it does not counteract just how fucking hot it is. I can't leave it. I mean, I need to get the paper up, but like the flashing on that wall is starting to like actually get fucked up because it's not meant to be like flopping in the wind like it is. And I don't even want to be out here working because it's so hot. But I just don't have a choice. I literally don't have a choice. Anyways, I'm gonna stop complaining and I gotta get to work. I'm literally procrastinating by even talking to you guys and telling you about it at this point. Well, my mother is on her way because I have surgery next week, and that means that this project is getting put on hold. It's probably going to be okay. I mean, they said 1 month for walking, 3 months to be doing pivoting sports, which like I'm not pivoting sports at all. To me, being on a ladder and doing stucco, I mean, lifting big, heavy stucco bags and stuff, it's physical work, but it's not pivoting sports on your knees. So I should be fine. I should be able to get back to all of this in like a month and be good to go. And yeah, and then we'll move on with some more projects. Hi. Can I help you? Are you excited for Grandma to be here? He's so excited for Grandma to come. What he really wants is to go play ball. So we're gonna go do that. But yeah, wish me luck. I literally don't know what to do. I'm cooking dinner. You might be able to hear that in the background. It has been like 6 months and I'm still like, I'm just now barely walking. I'm off of my crutch, like kind of. I don't know what to do. I am like so frustrated with everybody I'm working with on my knee surgery. Like the surgeon is doing nothing. The physical therapists are trying so much and I really like them as people, but nothing that they're doing is working. Like I just want to scream at the surgeon that like I am literally living in a house with holes in it because you said this would be 1 month to recover from. And here I am 6 months later and I still can't walk. And if I can't walk, then I can't freaking stucco. It's like so unbelievably out of my ability to do anything at this point because I can't, like even if I could stucco, I can't replace that window. I'm really trying not to spiral because I, at this point, am thinking that, am I ever going to get better? And if I'm never going to get better, then how am I supposed to be working on this house? because like I bought an abandoned bot farm. I bought a shack basically, knowing that like I would be fixing it up and like it wouldn't be like this forever. Like I can't afford somebody to fix this house up. I don't make that much money. Labor is so expensive. Like that's how I was going to be able to afford all of this, is by doing the labor myself. My dad has offered to come down and help me. I'm starting to come around to the idea that like I don't have another choice. Between my concrete project and the fact that all the concrete is going bad on the pallets, and my windows and the fact that all of my flashing is going bad on the windows, and we're going to get into monsoon season, and I'm so lucky that we didn't have a Hurricane Hillary last year. I would have had so much water in the house. The amount of water that hit that southern window during Hurricane Hillary, I don't know what else to do though. I mean, I guess I just need to be grateful that he is willing to come down here, and be grateful that he's so bored up in the snow and the cold that he can't do any projects there, that he's willing to get on a plane and come down here and do projects for me. Anyways, that's where I'm at. I guess I just need to bite the bullet and book him a plane ticket so that he can come out and help me, because I keep waiting for this knee to get better, and it never does, and it's stressing me out so badly to have holes in my house for months on end. Okay, so we've had what my dad so generously called an on-the-job training moment. As you can see, there was a problem with that base coat. Luckily, I know exactly what the problem was, and it's something I can fix. It didn't even occur to me until I started to see it, and I started poking around and pushing my hand on it and looking for soft spots and stuff that didn't set up right, and I realized I could feel the rumbling from my swamp cooler that was running the whole time. And vibration is like Stucco's worst nightmare. So it just literally couldn't set because it was being vibrated. Most of it set fine. I went through and tapped and poked anything that was not going to stay up, and that's where I'm left with. And so I'm hoping I'm gonna smear some on that first when I go to do my brown coat now. And yeah, cross my fingers that I can kind of just patch over this and it doesn't show up later. I turned the swamp cooler off as soon as I noticed it, and this stuff obviously was done first, and so I think I caught it in time for all the stuff that was done here. But I also am like not a fan of the grooved trowel I was using. It's meant for flooring, and it just seemed to pull up so much texture here. And so you can see the very last part that I did, I just went in and slashed some lines in it. Because yeah, I feel like this texture, I mean, yeah, a lot of it's coming off even. So it's like, not ideal. I think I'm gonna stiff broom all the loose stuff off first. The other thing that I'm throwing a wrench in to the mix with is that everything I've done so far has been with the pre-mixed Quikrete stucco, and they left me plaster that you mix with sand, and so for this brown coat I think I'm gonna use that. I feel too scared to use it for a base coat. I still have to do the other window, so I think I'm just gonna use that and hopefully use it up. I watched this one guy on YouTube, and if you have ever tried to look up stucco stuff, you know who I'm talking about. And he's a wealth of knowledge. He's an amazing person, I'm sure. But his videos are so frustrating to watch because he's just yapping. The video will be titled something that you're like, oh yes, I need to know this. And then it's like 25 minutes of yapping and 1 minute somewhere in there that's the answer that you need. And so you have to watch the whole thing just to get like 1 minute's worth of information, and then you have to times that by like 30 videos to get all the information you need. He's literally got thousands of videos. You're like, I don't want to watch every single video to get all the tidbits. So there's stuff that I've missed, and in one of the videos he specifically said he didn't like the trowel that I used. It didn't work on stucco, and I'm like, great, I wish I'd seen that video earlier, but like it was like a throwaway comment in the middle of something else he was talking about. So it's like, but yeah, there's definitely mistakes being made, as you can see. The other thing is I bought a paint sprayer that I've never used before to spray the adhesive onto this wall, so I have to hook that up and try it out. There's just gonna be a lot of new things today, and I am down to the wire. This is this weird cold streak for this weekend, and I think this is gonna be the end. Because it's just like unseasonably cool, so I don't have to run the swamp cooler. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the other window. I might just have to literally do it and then go sit in the car in the air conditioning, me and Teddy, in the summer or something when that one is drying, because I can't run the swamp cooler, and that's how I stay cool. The plan was to do base coat, brown coat, just so that it would be waterproof, you know, the first layer would be up and everything. But because of these holes, it makes me nervous that like the structural integrity, and it's at the bottom, you know, and like all this weight is down on this. Anyways, that's a hummingbird call. If you guys have never heard that before, that little woo, that's what the hummingbirds sound like. And then that's a dove. Anyways, I'm yapping myself now. Okay, break, let's do this. This stuff that I mixed myself, I'm using the right ratio and everything, and it is not acting like the Quikrete. And I mean, it isn't Quikrete, so is that why? And it's actually fine, I don't know. But I'm really struggling with it, and I don't want to do this whole section and then have it all fall off, especially when the base coat's not perfect. And so I scraped off what I can and went through and hosed it off, and I'm gonna leave this patch because it's really starting to set already. It even when I was washing my tools off, it like where it's dried on the tools, it's rinsing off really easily on that. And I even added an extra scoop of plaster because I was like, well, it doesn't feel like there's enough binding agents in it, so I added an extra scoop of plaster and it still feels like that. And so I'm just like, but yeah, I'm just gonna go dump this somewhere, and I have more Quikrete rags. I was just trying to use this because, you know, I have it, but it's not worth it if it's gonna mess everything up. So this is gonna be really fun to walk out into the desert. 100% set. I'm still watering it and everything, but so far I'm really happy with it. Oh my gosh, fingers crossed nothing happens when it like fully cures, because so far it looks really good. I'm probably gonna regret saying that, but I can take the window cover down because I don't think I'm gonna be doing my top coat anytime soon. I'm probably gonna restucco the whole house actually, because I even have this door to eliminate and the other door to the bathroom on the other side of the house, and there's a lot of places on the house that are just like not in great shape. On top of that, like there's that spot and it's all stained from the water running off, and then there's a crack that they just kind of caulked over and it looks bad. I can like angle grind that out and patch that properly and all sorts of stuff, and then it'll look really nice. So yeah, I think I'm gonna restucco the whole house at some point, but that's gonna be years down the line. But as it is, like the top coat's just decorative, so this is good to go for a very long time until I'm ready to do that, and it's just an eyesore in the meantime. But you know, it's the back of the house, who cares? Can be an eyesore. I actually don't even think it's an eyesore because I get to admire my handiwork. If somebody else did it and left it like this, oh, it's an eyesore. But because I did it, I get to be like, wow, I did that. Look how nice it looks. Like I've been doing for a long time now with the slider door. Also, that spot that I patched with the old plaster stuff. I'm so glad I stopped using it because there was something wrong with it. Like stucco, at least the Quikrete stucco that I'm used to working with, it's like a little sticky. It feels like mud. You feel like you're playing with mud, making mud pies and stuff. And when I mixed the plaster and the sand together, it felt like sand that was wet, and it didn't feel like it had anything binding it, and it didn't feel like it was sticky at all. And so, I mean, time will tell if something happens down here and like underneath it, it's all cracked and stuff, but it's covered with a layer of Quikrete anyways. And so, yeah, I feel pretty good about it. Stay teddy. I can't even begin to tell you how nice it is to have that sliding door. So yeah, it's done. This is where I'm leaving it. You will notice there's no top coat on, and that is intentional because I have quite a bit more stuccoing to do now that I know how to do it. There's the potential that this is going to sit for a very long time. There's a lot actually that is still going to change, and it would be kind of silly to do the whole house and then patch on top of that, because it's just really hard to get patches to look nice, you know? So if I do all the patching first and then restucco the whole house, then you will never know that there were patches there. It'll all just be one brand new clean slate.
So yeah, this is probably going to look like this for a really long time, but that's okay because I'm really proud of it. And it's totally functional this way. The color coat is just for aesthetics. Right now, as it is like doing its job. It needs to, it just doesn't look pretty. There were definitely some lessons learned. The first one was to double check everything before you pay the handyman, which I knew, but like, I don't know, this isn't the first time I've had this problem, but when you look at it, when they're standing there, like tapping their toes saying, okay, come on, let's go. I need to leave. I want my money. Everything looks fine. And then you go back and you look again when there's no pressure and you find all this stuff wrong. Luckily this window and the slider, that wasn't the case, but the garden window was set too far into the house because it was set on the studs and then the plywood over top of it. And that garden window was not meant to be that far set in. And so I'm so grateful for my dad to come down and help because we actually had to take the whole thing apart. And by we, I mean him, because I was barely walking at that point in time. I think in the clips you see me sitting in one of these chairs for a lot of it because I genuinely like was barely able to be upright and like my knee would swell up like crazy every night. And yeah, it was like way overdoing it to have my dad there at that point in time, but like it needed done. So it is what it is. But yeah, he took the whole thing down and actually he reframed, put new plywood on, and then we installed the window, which was like really stressful because that was kind of difficult to do. It's just a two-person job, but we made it work. I had spent a lot of time figuring out how to paper, how to wire, how you layer the paper, how you tie the wire in together. So I had done all the papering for this window. This slider, I had like screwed boards over it because the paper was getting like ruined flapping in the wind and before the surgery, and so I screwed boards down to it. And then that side we had to redo completely from scratch, so we got new flashing and layered new paper and everything from scratch. But unfortunately for this window, the slider, the flashing literally was falling apart because it's not meant to be exposed to the sun for that amount of time. This window also had that problem, but it was mostly covered up, and mostly also because they had left such a little gap, I siliconed the shit out of it. Actually, that's a lie. It wasn't silicone. It was tar, roofing tar, basically, because it's sticking to the tar paper. But yeah, on this one, to like redo the flashing that was starting to deteriorate, we would have had to have removed the entire slider. And as like a two-person job, one of which is like super gimpy and barely constitutes a person, that was not going to happen. And so we basically just layered the butyl tape flashing underneath it. And it's a little hokey, but luckily I live in the desert where there's really not that much water. I think I can count the number of times that water hit these windows twice in the last 4 years. Usually the rain comes from the northwest. If it's the summer, it might come from the southwest. I mean, and then even if it did, it has to make it through like a full inch of stucco cement. So yeah, I'm okay. Everything will be fine. And like I said, it's like double layered, so even the sun deteriorated stuff has a backup behind it. So in terms of waterproofing and paper and everything, I'm really happy with it. I feel really confident in my ability to shingle. Some of the top corners, it was like a little bit like, how am I supposed to shingle either on the top corner or the bottom corner? But again, I just used the roofing tar and sealed off anywhere where the shingling wasn't perfect. Yeah, I feel super confident in that tar glue because it's like lifetime warranty, meant to be on a horizontal roof surface, and it's probably never going to get water on it anyways underneath the concrete where there's no sun deteriorating it or anything. The wiring is definitely a place where I have room for improvement. So stucco wire just looks like thick chicken wire, and if you like look it up online or whatever, people talk about using chicken wire. The chicken wire that I grabbed is too thin. It is too thin. I will not use it again. By the time I knew that it was too thin, it was too late. The reason I had some of the holes here is first of all, because of swamp cooler. 100% know that. That's true. But also, it maybe would have been fine for the swamp cooler if the wire had been thick enough and therefore strong enough to like hold it steady even despite the vibrations. But it wasn't. That wire is just too thin, and it tries to sag away from the wall with the weight of the concrete attached to it. And I didn't realize that until I was working on the second window, and it was too late at that point. And so I don't even know if you can see in the time lapse, because I was working on these things for so long that the camera would die. So the very end of most of these projects, you don't get to see the very end because the camera died. But at the very end of the first coat on that side, I actually like dug in and added more screws and then patched over it. So I think with like 500 extra screws, I was able to get that chicken wire to a point where it was acceptable. But when I go to do my doors, I'm not going to use it again. If I get chicken wire, it will be a bigger gauge chicken wire. Otherwise, I'm going to look for actual stucco wire. My Home Depot does sell stucco wire, but it's this huge roll and it already has a tar paper attached to it. And it seems really unmanageable for me because it's so stiff. But I also think I saw that they sell sheets of it, and that would be totally fine, especially for the door, to just lay one sheet up and it'd be done. Like, that would be awesome. So learning experience there, that the wire is very important, which obviously I knew. You wouldn't do it if it wasn't important. But yeah, the thickness of the chicken wire was not good enough. So if you're looking at what I did, take that as a lesson and don't make that mistake same as me. Other than that, for lessons learned, I'm sticking with the pre-mixed Quikrete. It is much more expensive, but I could not make the stuff that you mix the sand and the plaster together work at all. I think that there's probably some sort of additives in that Quikrete, and to me that's totally worth the extra cost, because I mean, I've never done this before, and I think it turned out pretty great. Stucco cracks, there are a few itty bitty little teeny tiny cracks that, as far as I can tell, are totally normal. So yeah, if you guys are thinking about doing stucco, I know myself, it seemed like a really daunting thing to do. You hear all the time about it being difficult and like something that you leave to the professionals. I didn't personally think stucco was that hard. The prep work is so time consuming. Even every day getting ready to do that, like spraying on the adhesive and then rinsing out the sprayer and all that, like all of that is a lot of work. And then once you start going with the mud, it goes pretty quick, in my opinion. It's at least like entertaining to do. I more or less enjoyed it. I would definitely enjoy it more if I was in better shape, but I am sadly in bad shape, having been bedridden for a good chunk of the last year. But I'm getting there. My grandpa immigrated from Germany and was one of the people who brought Venetian stucco to America. And he was up in the Pacific Northwest area, and like so many of the big commercial buildings that are still up in the like Seattle area are his stucco. And my dad was like the go get it kid on the job sites for those, you know, go spray the adhesive, go grab our nails, go bring us plaster, you know. He didn't learn like how to stucco or anything from him. I don't know, when I feel like, oh, I did it pretty well, part of me is like, well, is it just in my genes? You know, did I inherit this to some extent? And he's a step grandfather. I'm not actually biologically related to him, so I know that's a little silly to think, but I do still think that, you know, he's my grandpa and I loved him so much before he passed. Yeah, I don't know. I just think he would be proud of me to follow in on the footsteps, and it would have been a whole heck of a lot easier if I could have just called him up and been, Grandpa, what am I supposed to do now? As it was, I called my dad a million times with that, and he would always just be like, I don't know, I didn't do that part. Anyways, it's just kind of a family trade that I feel like I got to be a little bit closer to him with. So, yeah. Anyways, the sun is getting low in the sky and I've been rambling long enough. Thank you guys for sticking around for part 2 of the whole window / stucco saga. There's actually probably even going to be a part 3 because the inside of the windows still haven't been done. I need to insulate and drywall and do the electrical in that area before I insulate and drywall. If you want to subscribe so you get a notification on it, but it's not coming out anytime soon. I haven't even started it because like it's a want, not a need, and I have like so many other projects going on right now that are needs. They're high priority. Just so many things got left while I was recovering from the knee surgery, including this. So this is the first thing that's like ticked off. Actually, I lied. The front patio is the first thing that's like ticked off of the things that just got put on hold from the knee surgery. This is number 2. Feels really good. But yeah, there's like probably 6 videos in the works, you guys, right now. And so yeah, subscribe if you want to see what I'm up to and what comes next here on the homestead. Yeah, let me know how you thought I did. You know, leave a comment below and like the video and all that kind of stuff. It all really helps the channel a lot and helps me a lot, because I definitely have noticed with the last 2 videos that have gone out that YouTube is kind of punishing me for being gone a little while. You know, the amount of people my videos used to reach, it's not the same. And so as much as you guys are willing to engage with the videos and the channel, that will just help tremendously, because it lets YouTube know like, oh, well, we probably should start pushing her videos out to people again. Because yeah, this is a huge part of my life. I won't get into it too much. There's another video and I'll give you a bigger spiel about it. But yeah, just know that I'm really counting on this channel and I'm counting on you guys. So all the love that you share with me, it just means the world. Okay, well, I'm done being sappy and I'm gonna take off, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye.